As politicians, academians, scientists, and health officials debate the origins of the COVID-19 virus, former President Donald Trump says China needs to pay for the damage the virus has done to the world.
The time has come for America and the world to demand reparations and accountability from the Communist Party of China. We should all declare within one unified voice that China must pay. They must pay.
So before demands for COVID-19 reparations are made, shouldn't the world prove that the virus actually originated in the Wuhan lab? Well, our next guest believes some American academians may have the evidence. Angela Morabito says university researchers who worked with scientists from the Wuhan Institute of Virology have a moral and patriotic duty to come forward and reveal the truth about what they may know. Ms. Morabito is a spokeswoman and higher education fellow at Campus Reform. Angela, it's so good to see you again. So tell us, which universities are you looking at, and just how extensive was their involvement with the Wuhan lab?
There's collaboration between U.S. colleges and the Wuhan lab that dates back more than a decade. And just by way of example, in 2009, Dr. Shi, who's now known as Batwoman in the Chinese press, who's the head of the Wuhan lab, she was working with the University of Pittsburgh to study how coronaviruses evolve along with their hosts. In 2013, there was research going on at UC Davis in partnership with the EcoHealth Alliance that set aside the whole genome sequences of 2 new bat coronaviruses. But perhaps the most glaring issue here is that in 2015, there was gain-of-function research going on between researchers at the University of North Carolina and at the Wuhan lab. Now, I'm not saying any of these researchers, any of these professors are bad actors, but we have proof that they worked with bad actors. These are people who have insight into what the Chinese knew and when. They have knowledge of what was going on in the Wuhan lab. And it ought to be a scandal that these people are not just tripping over themselves, trying to come forward and tell the intelligence community, tell the public, everything they know about what China could do and when they could do it.
Back in the early 70s with Watergate, it was what did you know and when did you know it? So it appears unlikely, though, that China will be truthful about COVID-19. So how important is it, Angela, that these American researchers come forward and do tell us what they know?
This is the missing piece because, look, China has lied about everything about this virus from the very start, including about how and when and where it started. But what these university ties give us is it means that we don't have to be at the mercy of what China tells us about where this disease showed up. We have people who are Americans who have this duty to step up and tell us what they knew, what they saw. And you know what? Maybe what they saw is completely exonerated. I'm not saying this investigation needs to go in any direction. I'm saying these people have facts. And every day that they're not sharing these facts with the intelligence community is time we're losing ground and China gains ground to lie about whatever they want.
Well, tell us a little bit more about EcoHealth Alliance and the University of North Carolina. What was their involvement? What exactly were they doing? Do you know?
This was amazing. This was gain-of-function research that was very closely affiliated with researchers at the University of North Carolina. And, what happened in 2015 is amazing. They published this thing about, how coronaviruses can be manipulated. But what's really interesting is that 4 years later, the head of the EcoHealth Alliance, a man named Peter Daszak, who's been involved with a lot of university researchers, he went on a podcast and he said, coronaviruses are pretty easy to manipulate in a lab. Now, this is the same Peter Daszak who went on and emailed Dr. Fauci in the past year and a half and said, hey, thank you for dispelling the lab leak theory. Thank you for telling people that's not true. When he's the one who was saying that these viruses are easy to manipulate in a lab and that he saw it happen. There's a huge disconnect here, and EcoHealth Alliance has a lot of explaining to do right alongside these universities.
Well, it is interesting, isn't it? Because they saw it happening. It's like, maybe... Let's connect the dots here. So what response did Campus Reform get from the universities when you contacted them for comment?
We got virtually nothing, it's terrifying and it's unfortunate. Campus Reform reached out to every single university that said they were affiliated with either the Wuhan Lab or the EcoHealth Alliance. And this was from the Wuhan Lab and the EcoHealth Alliance webpage, right? This was public knowledge. We got exactly one response, and it was exonerating. It was actually from the University of Alabama, which directed us to a government report saying, we don't know why the Wuhan lab is using your name. It's just another lie from that institution. But Alabama had no connection to it.
Well, why do you think they're being so secretive about their research and in their possible involvement with the Wuhan lab?
Universities, unfortunately, have a pattern of being really opaque about their research, whether that's how that research is funded. A lot of it comes from taxpayer dollars, but a lot of it is stuff we work on with partners overseas. And they're also really opaque about their foreign entanglements. We see this in universities refusing to report their foreign gifts and contracts. But whatever they know, they should be knocking on every single door, trying to talk to the intelligence community and, come forward with everything they saw, everything they witnessed, and, let the intelligence community do their important work from there.
Okay, doing the right thing. Angela Morabito of Campus Reform, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.